It's a cold and cloudy day in September. It's funny how just last week it was hot, really hot. Now it's cold and windy. It's like this every September in Sydney. You get a hot week, then a cold week. It goes up and down, and then October it starts to level out, and November's really hot. But this is a beautiful view from what used to be my grandmother's apartment, which is effectively being stolen by my father's ex-wife and the corrupt political system in Australia. It is shocking, absolutely shocking that this is happening. I still can't believe it. It's like I'm living in some sort of an alternate universe. This is outrageous on so many different levels, especially when Indonesia's literally preparing to go to war with us, and you're allowing an Indonesian to steal property from an Aussie. This is signs of collapse almost across the board. Imagine what I could do if I was allowed to stay here indefinitely, what I could create. But anyway, let's talk about the market. And I've, as you guys are aware of, I joined in the market. It's been about a year and a half now, hasn't it? About a year and a half. I managed to buy in right at the bottom of the Bitcoin. Right at the bottom, I almost picked the bottom. I was close to the bottom, and at that point when I bought in, it was good. Rode it up. We hit 73. And then for the last 6 months, tomorrow will be exactly 6 months, by the way, guys. It will be exactly 6 months since we hit 73K, the top, the mid bull run top. And the more I look at the charts, which I do every day, and I'm talking to crypto guys every single day. I also had a meeting with probably one of Australia's most educated men. He has multiple PhDs: economics, finance, business, accounting, legal. I think he's got a master's in some sort of law. It might be accounting law or something along those lines. Insanely intelligent dude. And what I like to do is, you surround yourself. The saying, you are the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and that's why I like to surround myself with people that are highly intelligent and know what they're talking about with these things. And we're talking about crypto, and the more I look at the market and my strategy over the last 6 months, which has been an awful strategy, let's just be real, and I've learnt a lot over the last 6 months. As I said to you guys early on, I never said that I was this masterful trader. I plan on being in the future, don't get me wrong. I plan on having a great strategy in the future. But when you look at this, okay, so here's a few thoughts. What if with the market you just try to, I'm sure you've heard the saying, the trend is your friend. There's times where you know that the market is kicking off, and all you have to do is watch it and wait. It might take 2 years. You just check it every day, and then you notice, oh, the market's now going up. We're not going sideways anymore. We're kicking off. And you watch it. You wait until it's confirmed that we're kicking off. Wait until it's almost certain that we're hitting higher levels consistently, and it's consolidating at those levels and then jumping up again. And then you go in, and then you start buying up whatever that asset is, and I'd say crypto would be the way to go. With crypto, we do have these bull runs because so many people want to gamble. And that is great. It creates all this volatility. What if once every, say, 4 or 5 years, you try to pick the bottom after the collapse? You try to pick that bottom to buy in. Okay, there'll be one move that you will make every 4 or 5 years. The second move will be knowing that when things start kicking off, you really want to be selling on these green candles. When things start kicking off and everyone's buying it up and everyone's talking about the next meme coin that's coming out and there's a lot of money flowing in the crypto, you start looking closely every day. Almost when it starts kicking off, you'll be making so much money that it would almost justify just quitting your job and spending all day every day for a few months just watching the market, because in reality it only lasts about 3 months on average. The parabolic phase where things really start kicking off, it only lasts about 3 months, and you only really get 2 shots at it every, say, 4 years, if the pattern continues. And you just try your best to pick the top as much as you can. As soon as it gets to a certain point, just sell everything off on those green candles and get out, leave the market entirely, sell everything. And this is one thing I definitely didn't do, because at 73k, I was speaking to a few people. There's one guy who works in finance over in Britain that I was talking to every day. I know another degen. I was kind of surrounding myself with people who didn't understand the market so much, and they had been in the market for such a long time, yet they're not rich. They've been in the market for, some of them, 5-6 years, and they made a lot of money in the bull runs, but they didn't sell, and they held all the way to the bottom. And the other guy's like a degen, and he's like a developer, and he's got a company in crypto, and he's not rich. He hasn't made it. And the way they look at the market, the more I talk to them, the more I realize they're totally wrong. Their ideas are wrong. And that's what, make sure you surround yourself with the right people. And I kind of surrounded myself with people who knew a little bit about crypto, but not enough to get rich. And I've noted, what I like to do with everything is fact check. Just check to see if what they are saying is good advice or not. And most of the times it wasn't. And the thing is, these people are also, their advice is what they are actually doing with their own money, which is even more hilarious, because their bad advice and how certain they are that they know what they're doing, and they're so emotional with their trades, and they cannot be talked out of it. They're not very fluid in their thinking. It's a bit of a problem, and that's why they're still broke. Well, they're not broke, but they're not rich. They should be rich. A few decisions, a few slight changes to what they were doing, and they would be mega rich right now. And they're not. And I think it's their own fault, and it's kind of stupid. And I think listening to them too much and their conviction, their confidence in their stupid ideas, it helped me to it made me think that it was the right thing to do, to kind of hold way too much of my portfolio all the way down to this point. Tomorrow we're coming up to 6 months, and it's melting away everything that I've got. Not everything. I'm still up because I managed to pick the bottom. If I didn't pick the bottom, I wouldn't be in the position I am today. But I'm starting to look at it closely and think, how much longer can I stand this melting down? And I don't think I can stand it melting down much longer. Now, sure, the market might kick off, but how much longer do we have to wait until this market kicks off? And would it be better for me to just wait until it starts to move before buying back in? Because I can buy back in one day. I can sit there and in one day just launch all my positions back in. But if I get out of all of my positions right now and just sit around and wait until it's confirmed that we're moving, and if this bull run really does kick off, I'm going to have a good 3 months of green candles to just get in the market and watch it pump, go nuts, and then just watch really closely and make sure I sell as close to the top as I possibly can. And then I'll be good for multiples of years, I would say, if I make the right decisions. But if we dump in the next 3 months, a large percentage of what I've got is going to get eaten up. And I would say that that's what the market will do. I'm feeling like there could be one more little dump. And instead of holding down, when it does dump, I want to be sitting there with as much cash as possible to buy that bottom. And this slow grind sideways, and most of the alts are down something like 80% since we hit 73k 6 months ago. So I'm in a difficult situation where I need to make a huge decision that would be life altering, based on the idea that we might get one more dump before we get these parabolic moves upwards. So what I've decided to do, because I've waited such a long time, and I did pull out of the market, I just bought back in way too soon. 3 months in, I started buying back in, which was kind of stupid. I did buy when Bitcoin dumped from 73 down to 60. I bought and then sold. And then when we had this a dump a couple weeks ago, the entire market collapsed. I bought at the bottom. I got myself another 25% out of that as well, which was nice. But that was only really helping my portfolio to stay above water. Basically every win that I was making with these risky, kind of risky, not that risky, but kind of risky trades in the middle of this market where we're not at the top. It's not obvious we're anywhere near a top, and it's not obvious we're anywhere near the bottom. So we're in this dodgy middle of the ground area. And so the more I look at it, the more I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to monitor it over the next couple of days and probably sell off a little bit more, so I have a little bit more to play with and run the numbers. I think, let's just say, on average, from the absolute bottom to the top, last bull run Ethereum did a 17x. Now, let's just say you had 20k or something sitting there ready to go. Or if you had 30k sitting there ready to go, and Solana was the one that does that 15x from the bottom, and we have one more dump in the next 3 months. You pick that bottom. It's pretty easy to pick. I've been able to pick them a few times because it just goes red. Everyone starts panicking. Twitter lights up. You look at the market and you can see it dumping. You just get ready. Buy at the absolute bottom. If you were to do that, dump 30k, and this is what I'm thinking, I prepare myself, and you were to get a 17x out of Solana from the bottom, if Solana is the next Ethereum and it's going to behave the same way, I'm not saying it is, then you could pull out $500,000 if you manage to hit the top. So at the moment, leaving money in the market just to get a few confirmed moves upwards is just not worth it. And it doesn't make any sense to be doing so right now, I don't think. So that's where I'm at the moment. I'm seriously considering doing that today, pulling out a larger percentage so that I'm ready to go just in case we get that one day where everything just collapses. I want to be buying the bottom of that move. And I think Solana's the one that I want to be buying when it does make that move. And I feel that it should happen in the next 3 months. Now, we do have a lot of time past when we haven't made any serious moves. When you look at the difference between this cycle and every other cycle, we still haven't really made these big moves, and going sideways for 6 months, the longest time period, as I've covered on this channel many times, I've gone through the charts, and it's 9 months. It's been the longest time we've consolidated before really kicking off in Bitcoin in the mid-range of this cycle. So and usually there's a dump, there's some sort of a dump that happens, and that triggers it, because then at that point people go, that's it, I've bought in at the bottom, I've got it, I've locked it in. And then they start gaining momentum from there on, and everything else starts to, it's almost like one more dump will be the catalyst where people truly feel that that was it, we're done now, it's time to start putting your money back in the market. And it pushes Bitcoin and the whole market up, and then it'll consolidate for a little bit, and then everyone will start to realize, oh, that must have been the bottom. Everyone looks at the charts, that one last little dump was because the market is very, very much a psychological problem that we need to overcome, and it is very much player versus player. It's you and me versus the market. That's really what this is. And I don't really want to be holding and losing all of my gains to this point and not being able to buy in at any last bottoms. I'm finished because the goal is to make some money this run. So anyway, that's my thoughts for now. I have been watching the market every day. And this last 6 months has been horrendous. I can't believe I got tricked into it. It's not going to happen again, that's for sure. I'm not going to be fooled again. So and there's some big moves happening. I'm going to update you guys. Some big things are happening, okay? If you followed to this point, some big things are happening, I promise you. And next week some big things are going to be changing, and I'll be updating you guys here. I'll be using this as my little diary. But yeah, I'm gonna miss my grandmother's apartment. They worked their asses off this beautiful place. You can see that's the Centrepoint Tower over there, Centennial Park, and you can see all the way around. It's windy today, but on a beautiful day it's nice. So I can't believe that rotten Indonesian bitch is stealing it. I still can't believe it. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one.